The Dead That Would Not Die, Haiti's Secret and the Cold War Resurrection Files. I am Elvis, curator of the unbelievable and architect of the unknown. They buried Clairvius in 1962. Villagers nailed his coffin, sealed the grave, and walked away. 18 years later, a man with the same face and the same childhood scars stepped out of a sugarcane field and said his name out loud. In Haiti, they call it a zombie, a person stolen, emptied, then returned. Not a corpse that eats the living, but the living turned into a kind of corpse. Markets still whisper lists of powders: pufferfish toxin shaved to dust, nightshade seeds, ground millipede, an apothecary of paralysis and forgetting. Witnesses describe the pattern. The victim collapses. Pulse fades to a thread. The family buries too soon. At night, a hungan lifts the lid. What comes back can walk, work, and breathe, without a self. Court files from the 20th century name other revenants. A woman recognized by a childhood birthmark wandering a village road. A young man returned to fields he'd never chosen. In some cases, there's a dispute, a debt unpaid, a land quarrel, a jealous relative. In others, only fear and rumor. Yet physicians who examined the returned found the same look in the eyes, a stare past you, like the soul is listening from behind a wall. You can call it ritual, you can call it pharmacology. Either way, it rearranges a person until memory isn't a home but an empty room. Remember to follow or subscribe, because some signals only reach those who listen after dark. Across an ocean and a generation, the other half of the story unfolds under fluorescent light. Cold War laboratories gathered dogs on steel tables and stopped their hearts. Machines forced blood through their vessels like tides. A camera rolled as pupils fixed, then flickered. Surgeons iced bodies to the edge of winter, then warmed them back towards speech. Decades later, a university revived cellular activity in a dead mammal brain hours after slaughter. No consciousness, but electrical negotiation. A city lit block by block. Trauma centers now cool the dying into controlled darkness to drag them back across the threshold. In morgues, a few minutes after pronouncement, monitors have recorded the body's staggered decision to breathe again. The Lazarus phenomenon documented, debated, feared. Taken together, the pattern is not death undone, but self undone. One side steals a will and leaves a body. The other restarts a body and waits for the will. In the cane fields, the reawakened learn commands. In the operating room, the reawakened reach for names that don't arrive. Different continents, different languages, same cliff. And somewhere between drum and defibrillator, poison and perfusion, we keep asking the oldest wrong question: can we bring them back? What if the right question is this: what comes back when we do? Because the dead that would not die aren't just a rumor in the dark or a footnote in a medical journal. They're a mirror, held steady at midnight, showing us the boundary we crave to cross and the parts of ourselves we